What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Peace and blessings to you all. This is official. I thought of taking out my tripod, well, my camera, and wanted to record about something I'm starting to notice, right? And for those who don't know me, I am a young African American who has had some experience traveling abroad for quite a while now. I'd say, if I'm going to add it all up, I'd say 5 years. 5 years, not bad. About 5 years so far now. So again, I'm a beginner in this and all this traveling thing, but I've actually lived in certain countries, and yeah, but again, that's besides the point. I will talk about myself way later on. I do want to make a quick video regarding, again, like I mentioned a moment ago, about some issues, some things that I'm starting to notice when it comes to African Americans traveling abroad, because a lot of us do travel abroad, and a lot of us, oh my gosh, a lot of us don't travel abroad. Let me get this on first. A lot of us don't travel abroad that much. I want to touch on something specific though, when it comes to Africa, because that's, if you were to ask me, I think that's our initial homeland. I know about 70% of you guys may not agree with me, and that's fine. I'm not really here to argue with anybody or quarrel or get upset because most of you disagree with me and whatnot, but I do believe that Africa is our homeland, and again, these are some things that I wish I knew, or I wish we knew back in schools, when it comes to our history, when it comes to where we came from. I kind of sit down and I wonder, what exactly did it take for certain people to strip away a majority of our history? So I really sit down and I think, why do that? Like, why? I don't get it. But not to double deep down or double dive into this specifically, but I want to touch on some things when it comes to, again, traveling to Africa. And I'm going to say this is going to be my point for this video. A lot of us are truly uneducated when it comes to traveling to Africa and within Africa. Usually we are not very educated with it. I know we somehow pride ourselves with watching certain influencers, if you may call it, certain travel content creators who, they go to Africa, and I don't really, if you were to ask me, I don't really think or see that they show the real Africa. The real Africa isn't the tourism Africa, right? A lot of us go to these countries moving like tourists. A lot of you guys might say that's normal, but again, it does not allow you to experience what Africa truly is. It does not allow you to really, I'm trying to figure out a way to say it, but again, we don't really see, the truth is we can't really see the real Africa through tourist lens, right? We live in America, we go to a country, whether it's in Africa or whatever other country, and we think being American in that country, acting American in that other country would get us far. But no, and I've told some people this too, personally. I said, let's not bring our American attitudes to these countries around the world, not just Africa, but around the world as a whole. Yeah, let's not bring our American attitudes. Let's keep whatever we do in America. When we go to another country, we turn that American thing off, and we really, and I know you guys have heard this a lot of times, we should really dive into the culture, because a lot of us truly, we don't dive into the culture. We actually don't. We say we do, we claim we do, but we don't. So, long story short, we should be careful, and I'm going to include myself in part two, just for relatability. We should be careful when it comes to consuming content in regards to other people traveling to Africa and what they're talking about. I know nowadays it's really all about clicks and views, and a lot of us shy away from the negative. And it's kind of one of the topics that I plan to really dive deeper, like a lot deeper in the future, about what not to do and what to really prepare for when you come to Africa. The things that you should not do. Because a lot of people don't talk about that. A lot of people don't talk about that. And a lot of things are grimy. A lot of us don't like to talk about it, but I mean, there's a lot of you guys who've been to Africa, and you've experienced some things, and they made you dissatisfied about Africa. You know, if only we took things rationally, if only we put on our realist lens on, we would have made better preparations, and yeah, we would have expected it and found a way to deal with it in a way, and enjoy Africa still, But a lot of us, again, are not educated about that. We're basically, I don't want to say this term now, but we get used to hearing, oh, the good, and you can live this kind of life in Africa, which is true, but it's a certain way you have to move when it comes to the way of moving in Africa. It's just a certain way you have to move. A lot of us say that, a lot of people, these content creators, sometimes they say that you need somewhat a lot of money to live in Africa. And I know a lot of you guys don't believe that. I don't believe that, really. Even if you're somebody who wants to travel to Africa for a short time, right? If you have, for those who are budget travelers, even if you put $2,500 aside, $2,500 to $5,000, if you play your games well, in Africa, you can that money can last you a full 2 years. Trust me on that, a full 2 years, and I'm going to show you how that's possible. Because let's pause for a moment. Do you think that the locals in African countries are paying $2,500 a year? Think about that. Most of them are not. They don't. Their yearly salary is not $2,500. It's a lot less. So again, that's not all countries. That's some countries. I know some salaries, or some countries have higher salaries and whatnot, but that's for a different video. But things like how much you need to have, and you need to have 10,000 so you can. I've heard of people who blew $40,000 in like 3 months. You see things like that, and I've heard a lot of stories. It's not just I even know a person about. I even know a person who's done that. $40,000 in 3 months. That's definitely not smart. Because of what? In the name of tourism? No. So things like that, really. And I don't think I mentioned this earlier. I'm in Cairo, Egypt right now. I know a lot of people, a lot of African Americans say a lot of negative things about Egypt. Things like saying things like it's racist, and I can easily say that most people are wrong, but the thing is, I have to be realistic too. Everyone's experience is not my experience, and my experience is not everyone else's experience. Everyone has different experiences. For me, right, Egypt has been treating me well. Yeah, for the past, I've been here 3 weeks now. No, a month. 3 weeks, almost a month now. And Egypt has been treating me well so far. Maybe because I played my cards right. I am taking locals' advice. I don't move anyhow. I don't move like a tourist. I don't put attention on myself, if you know what I mean. I don't act up like most of us do when we go to certain countries, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I've not had any major issues. Again, only been here for months, so that's just beginner level. I will be here for a couple of months before I head down to the east side of Africa by the will of God. So stay tuned for that. But that's besides the point. Again, a lot of us need to understand and pay attention. Watch people that tell you the reality of moving within Africa. I have a lot of weird spots going on in my head. It's kind of recent, actually. It's weird. Maybe it's just change of environment. So I know a lot of you guys might be thinking I'm a bit ugly. That's fine. I appreciate the criticism. Anyway, what was I saying before? I was saying that we are uneducated. We need to watch more people who tell us about the reality. Africa's not all like glamour and, oh, you know, you have this and this hotel and this that. It's a lot deeper than that. You know, if you wanna really develop a realist perspective of certain things, you need both. You need to prepare for the positives and the negatives. Let me take some water. We both need to prepare for the positives and the negatives. And we only focus on the positives, obviously, because positives sound good and negatives sound bad. We're scared of hearing the bad part. But man, I'm sure you guys have watched a lot of African content, have heard a lot of unfortunate realities, unfortunate situations happen. Scamming. I mean, I can say a lot. There's a lot going on, you know. Again, mentioning a guy that I knew personally in a way, through a mutual contact, I guess I'd say. You know, a lot of us come here with large sums of money, only to blow it in like 2-3 months. And it's not like we put that money into a property or an investment or even land. I mean, you sit down and you think, yeah, what are these guys doing with their money? 30,000, 40,000 in 3 months, blown. Yeah, that's left to me. That's not smart. I know that's not gonna sound smart to a lot of you guys. So, yeah, I do feel like I'm talking all over the place, but again, some things I'm noticing. I recently had some conversations and discussions with a few African American brothers, and even sisters too. I'm in certain groups, certain special groups, if you may call it that way. Again, this video is mainly for African Americans. As you guys see, I'm not too old nor too young. I'm still learning. I guess you could say I'm 5 years in. Again, I'll start to tell a lot about myself in the future. Again, I'm just getting used to this YouTube thing, and hopefully I can really show you the reality of moving, because I do want to focus on Africa, because there's a lot of truths that are hidden, a lot of realities that we tend to ignore that could benefit us in the long run, but we, should I say, purposely ignore it? In a way. Again, we need to be careful when it comes to the people we watch online, content creators, influencers, especially those traveling to Africa. Excuse me. And let's watch how much time we spend on these people, the energy we spend, the money we spend. A lot of times, it's the money. We gotta really pay attention. It's a lot deeper than that. I would say really you could, this is an unpopular opinion, right? And I don't want to be that kind of person who talks about countries that I've never been to. Even though I can hear certain things from other people when they go to certain countries, but again, their experience is their experience, right? My experience would be different from their experience always. Your experience will be different than my experience. That's what it is. But you just have to try it and see what works for you. You know, so always do your research. Very important that you prioritize research when you go to countries. Again, you know, a lot of you guys might resort to the typical Google or ChatGPT. I mean, I've tried those before, but I don't think these search engines and I don't think they really give the real reality. They can give you some insight as to what to expect when it comes to the negatives. They can give you they can give you some kind of thing to visualize, something to visualize on. But I don't really, again, you could use that, but also connect with people, talk with people. Don't do things by yourself. I know in our community, we're used to doing things ourselves. We go to certain places around the world and we end up creating our little thing, our little clique, whatever. Instead of getting together and just, you know, I feel like we could we could simply go very far in life with just getting together and doing valuable things together. You know, if we're gonna only learn from other people, or if I should say other races, I mean, you notice this in Africa too. I know for those who've been to Africa, you notice that you'll see groups of Chinese, groups of Italians, groups of Middle Easterners, groups of Indians, and you know, you see them all. They're succeeding in Africa. You know, a lot of them control industries. They control more industries than us Africans, of us African Americans. And if I'm going to say that, yeah, that does kind of bother me. In Africa, it's supposed to be owned and controlled by us, for real. But again, let's be real. That's not the reality, right? Again, we can have a whole discussion outside of that, you know, because of leadership issues, corruption. I understand the whole, it goes deeper than just, oh, well, we can get together and all that. It goes deeper than that. But just observations that I'm starting to notice. Again, I might be missing out some aspects, and if I am, let me know. Let me know. I know I've had a few valuable commenters, you know, share me some things that I need to improve on when it comes to my videos and what I need to talk about. And I appreciate that. I really, really do appreciate that. And thank you very much. So anything I missed out on, anything that I missed out, anything that I didn't clearly say, feel free and leave a comment. I would appreciate that. I'd reply promptly. I'll try. And that's what I have in mind. It's actually, I was actually laying in bed about 2 hours ago. No, an hour ago, not 2 hours ago. An hour ago. And I thought, you know what? Let me make this video. Let me just say it out and just put it out. I can't expect it to be perfect. Again, it's just my 5th video, if I can be exact, or my 6th video. Yeah. I'm still working on some content when it comes to Egypt. So somebody was calling on my phone, but I'd ignore for now. So I'm still developing content when it comes to Egypt. Basically day in the life and everything. All right, you guys, thank you guys for tuning in. Again, any feedback, anything that I missed, let me know. Anything that you feel like I didn't explain very well, or I didn't fully explain what I said correctly. Anything, just let me know, and I will reply to your comment. I'll find a way to refine my content, refine what I said. Again, I'm still learning. Again, it's just something that I'm observing. So yeah, just it's not a definitive thought in mind. It's just something I'm observing. Anyway, y'all, you have a good, blessed day. Peace and blessings to you all. May peace and eternal blessings rest with you guys. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.